All right, I just want to send out a big congratulations to my Patreon members who went 3-0 yesterday on my website. That's right, 3-0 in our premium picks on that site yesterday, and that's going to improve our record to 7-2 in our last 9 daily best plays on that website. Link for that site is in the description section below. That is patreon.com/rockpage. All right, the Predators take on the Bruins tonight, and that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop at the Garden. The Bruins are the $1.60 favorite, total at 6. We saw a 10-cent fade of Boston in the early wagering. The Bruins open $1.70 down to -160. Totals at 6. 66% are leaning Boston, 59% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Predators are plus 140 on the money line. Boston plus $1.55 on the puck line. Boston's 21-7-8 on the year, 12-1-7 at home. They're allowing just 2.5 goals per contest at the Garden. Total-wise, Nashville 21-13 to the over on the year. 11 out of their 15 road games got over the number themselves. I'm going to lean Boston -160 and the over 6 goals in that game. Next matchup, Panthers taking on the Hurricanes, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Carolina. The Canes are the $1.90 favorite, total at 6.5. We saw a 10-cent move toward Carolina and movement upward on the total. And the Canes open $1.80 up to -190. Total open 6 up to 6.5. 66% are leaning Carolina, 72% shaded toward the over. Right now the Panthers are plus 165 on the money line. The Hurricanes are plus $1.45, laying the goal and a half. Florida ranks in the top 3 in scoring, 9-5 against the spread on the road. Of course, when I refer to the spread in the NHL, I'm referring to the puck line. Total-wise, Florida 23-11 to the over on the year. Give me the Panthers plus 1.5 and the over 6.5 in that game. Next matchup, Lightning taking on the Capitals, 7 o'clock Nation's capital. The Lightning are the $1.15 favorite on the road, total at 6.5. Now, we did see a good old-fashioned flip of the line in this one, as Tampa Bay opened up as the $1.10 dog. 25-cent move toward the Lightning in the early wagering. Once again, Tampa Bay opened plus 110, now -115. Total 6.5. 68% are leaning Washington, 69% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Capitals are -105 on the money line. Tampa Bay plus 215 on the puck line. Tampa Bay ranks in the bottom 10 in goals allowed, 5-10 against the spread when traveling. Washington on the other side, 8-2 straight up in their last 10, 25-6-5 overall for the year. They rank first in scoring. Total-wise, Washington 23-13 to the over on the year, 12-4 to the over at home. I'm going to lean Washington -105. And the over 6.5 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Saturday's NHL action. But before we dive into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you once again to check me out on my website at patreon.com/rockpage, where once again we went 3-0 yesterday in our premium selections on that website. Congratulations to all my patrons on that website. You went 3-0 yesterday. Congratulations. Enjoy the win. We're also 7-2 in our last 9 daily best plays on that site. The daily best play package. Let's try that again. The daily best play package costs just $1.99 per month. Now, we have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. And you can check out my current record on that site for free right now. Link for that site is in the description section below. That is patreon.com/rockpage. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Canadiens taking on the Oilers, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Edmonton. The Canadiens are $1.20, total at 6. 10-cent move toward Montreal and movement upward on the total. Canadiens open $1.10 up to -120. Total open 5.5 up to 6. 57% are leaning Edmonton, 69% shaded toward the over. The Oilers are catching even money on the money line. Montreal plus 215 on the puck line. Montreal 9-4-3 on the road, 12-4 against the spread in those games. They're also 6-2 straight up in their last 8. Edmonton on the other side, completely different story. Losers in 6 out of their last 7. They're also just 4-14 against the spread at home. They rank in the bottom 10 in home scoring. Total-wise, Edmonton 11-7 to the over on their home ice. Give me the Canadiens minus 120 in the over 6 goals in that game. Next matchup, Detroit taking on the Maple Leafs. 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Toronto. The Leafs are 280, total 6.5. Nickel move toward Toronto. They open 275 up to minus 280, total 6.5. 71% are leaning Toronto, 69% toward the over. Detroit's plus 240, Toronto minus $1.15 on the puck line. Toronto ranks in the top 10 in scoring, top 10 in offensive shots. Detroit on the other side, just 9-24-3 on the year, 14-22 against the spread in those games. Detroit's 11-6 to the over when traveling. Give me Toronto minus 1.5 and the over 6.5 in that contest. Next game, Flyers taking on the Senators, 7 o'clock Ottawa. The Flyers are $1.45, totals at 6. 10-cent move toward Philly. They open $1.35 up to minus 145, totals at 6. 67% are leaning Philly, 73% toward the over. Ottawa's plus $1.25, Philly's plus 175 on the puck line. Philly ranks in the top 3 in shots allowed, top 10 in goals allowed. Ottawa on the other side, 10-5 straight up at home, 10-5 against the spread in that same category. Give me the Senators in an upset, plus 125, and the over 6 goals in that contest. Next game, Devils, Blue Jackets, 7 o'clock Columbus. CBJ's minus 190, totals 5.5, 20-cent move towards CBJ. They open $1.70 up to minus 190, totals 5.5, 72% leaning toward Columbus, 74% on the over. Devils are plus 165, Blue Jackets plus $1.35, laying the goal and a half. Columbus ranks in the top 10 in offensive shots, top 5 in defensive shots allowed. The Devils on the other side, 6-10 against the spread on the road, bottom 3 in scoring. Total-wise, Columbus 13-6 to the under at home. Give me the Blue Jackets minus 1.5 and the under 5.5 in that contest. Next game, Blackhawks taking on the Avalanche. 9 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Colorado. The Avalanche are the $2.40 favorite, total at 6.5. We saw a 10-cent move toward Colorado and movement upward on the total. The Avalanche opened 230 up to minus 240, total open 6 up to 6.5. 51% are leaning Chicago, 73% shaded toward the over. Right now the Blackhawks are plus $2 on the money line. Colorado plus $1.20, laying the goal and a half. Colorado is ranking in the top 5 in scoring, 10-4-2 at home. Chicago, losers in 5 out of their last 7. They rank dead last in shots allowed on average per game. Chicago, 21-15 to the under overall for the year. I like Colorado minus 1.5 and the under 6.5. The next game, Pittsburgh, Vancouver, 10 o'clock Vancouver. Canucks are 115, total at 6. Nickel move toward Vancouver. They open $1.10 up to minus 115, totals at 6. 52% on Vancouver, 71% on the over. Right now, the Pens are minus 105 on the money line. Vancouver plus 230 on the puck line. Vancouver's covered just 7 out of their last 17 games at home. They're also just 2-4 straight up in their last 6. The Canucks rank in the bottom 10 in shots allowed. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh 9-6 against the spread when traveling, 7-1 straight up in their last 8. They rank in the top 5 in road scoring. 10 out of Pittsburgh's last 15 on the road got over the number. Give me the Penguins minus 105 and the over 6 goals in that game. Next and final matchup for the show, it is going to be Blues Sharks, 10:30 San Jose. The Blues are $1.25, totals at 6. Nickel move towards St. Louis. They open $1.20 up to 125, totals at 6. 71% are leaning St. Louis, 67% shaded toward the over. The Sharks are plus 105 on the money line. Blues plus $1.95 on the puck line. St. Louis ranks in the top 10 in goals allowed on the road. Give me St. Louis minus 125 and the under 6 goals in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our quick pick recap. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we went undefeated, a perfect 3-0 yesterday in our premium picks on that website. Give me St. Louis minus 125 under 6 goals. Pittsburgh minus 105 over 6 goals. Colorado minus 1.5 under 6.5. Washington minus 105 over 6.5. Ottawa plus 125 over 6 goals. Columbus minus 1.5 under 5.5. Boston minus 160 over 6 goals. Montreal minus 120 over 6 goals. Florida plus 1.5 over 6.5. And last but certainly not least, I like Toronto minus 1.5 and the over 6.5 in that game.